Welcome back to the news. Chief Minister of the Western Province, Prasanna Ranathan, says the duties of the chairman of the Palestine Urban Council will now be carried out by the council's vice chairman.
The Chief Minister went on to say that the vice chairman will act in the capacity of chairman until a new chairman for the Urban Council is appointed.
The chairman of the council was at risk of losing the chair after the budget of the Palestine Urban Council was defeated for the second time yesterday.
The budget of the Palestine Urban Council was defeated for the second time. After a budget is defeated, the council needs to operate as if the chairman had accepted the defeat and resigned from his post. The local government commissioner will take the required measures once the report is received. What we now have to do is notify the elections commissioner. Afterwards, the elections commissioner will notify the secretary of the party via a letter, and the party will decide on appointing a new chairman. We are attempting to bring this matter under a commissioner. We can reach an arrangement under the Local Government Act and bring this matter under the purview of a commissioner. We want to deal with this matter democratically. Therefore, we will allow the party to decide on naming a new chairman.
Meanwhile, an altercation had taken place between two groups last night opposite the residence of the former chairman of the Palestine Urban Council, Nihal Ananda Pereira. The police said that a group, overjoyed by the budget defeat, had lit firecrackers opposite the residence of the former chairman of the Palestine Urban Council. An altercation had taken place at that moment, and an individual who was injured was first admitted to the Kiribati Base Hospital and was later transferred to the Colombo North Teaching Hospital.
While I was eating, I heard the sound of firecrackers. My wife and daughter stepped out to see what was happening. They were accompanied by my driver. We saw a person by the name of Nalin lighting crackers and then running off.
It has been said that a certain group had lit crackers close to his house. The crackers were lit on the Kandy Road. His house is in another area. There is a distance of 200 meters between the two locations. This is all speculation, and they assaulted me based on this.
The youth in the village had managed to catch them. The individual named Nalin had assaulted my wife and daughter and my driver. My driver is in hospital.
They destroyed my mobile phone by throwing it on the ground. His supporters and his wife and daughter beat me. They beat my head and chest. I felt helpless at that time.
This is a blatant lie. I have no reason to carry out an assault. Last night, even when the police arrived, I was eating. I am not prepared to get involved in clashes because of politics. I have always worked peacefully.
A commemorative ceremony was held at the BMICH yesterday in memory of late Tissa Abesekara.
The event was held under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The event was held to commemorate late Tissa Abesekara, who rendered a yeoman's service to improve cinema, teledrama and literature in Sri Lanka. Tissa Abesekara served as the chairman and director of several institutions, including the National Film Corporation. Two books titled Tissa by Ajit Galapati and Nikma Nogia Apramana Minisa by Rohana Dandeniya were launched at the occasion as well. A stamp and a first day cover was also released yesterday in remembrance of late Tissa Abesekara. President Mahinda Rajapaksa also donated land deeds to the Association of Teledrama Professionals. Awards were presented to winners of the Tissa Abesekara Short Film Festival, while a documentary on Tissa Abesekara created by Sudat Rohana was also screened at the event.
The case of a suicide bomb attack targeting the assassination of former Army commander and present leader of the Democratic Party, Sarath Fonseca, at the Army headquarters in Colombo was taken up today at the High Court before Justice Kumuduni Vikramasinghe.
The suicide attack took place on the 25th of April in 2006 at the Army headquarters in Colombo, killing 12 persons and injuring 27 others. Selvaraja Thirubakaran, Shanmugalingam Suryakumar and Thambaya Prakash were named as respondents in the case and were accused of plotting the suicide attack together with two other individuals, namely Mohammed Ansar Siddiq and Durga, to assassinate the former army commander. The former army commander, giving evidence before court today, stated that the attack was launched when he was leaving the army headquarters in a vehicle to his official quarters for lunch. He further stated that he recalls witnessing a crowd gathered outside the military hospital and that he had noticed a woman clad in a yellow and blue shalwar. The former army commander added that soon after his vehicle passed the woman, he had witnessed shrapnel emanating from her chest region which had struck his vehicle. He added that he realized at the moment that a bomb explosion had taken place. Moreover, Fonseca stated that he remembers being taken away in an ambulance while he was bleeding and his internal organs were exposed. Upon returning to the island following treatment abroad, the former army commander had reported to duty by travelling to Trincomalee and launching the Mavid Laru operation before his wounds had healed. The case was postponed to the 20th of March 2014.
Despite attempts being made to write off my service and remove my photograph from books and erase my name from all records, they have failed to erase the memory of the bomb attack on the former army commander. These corrupt rulers have failed to erase it because when we serve the country, that service becomes an experience. The state councils had to cross-examine me. They had to get me to say things. They asked me when I joined the army, how long was my service, what missions did I undertake and what sacrifices did I make. They even had to ask whether I provided orders during the war. I think that if these corrupt rulers who are trying to erase my name take a look at the evidence provided, they will recall the past they had forgotten.
A public talk on the United Nations International Day with Palestine took place in Colombo last evening.
The event was held under the auspices of the co-chairpersons of the Sri Lanka Committee for Solidarity with Palestine, Minister Athauda Sinivaratna and Imtiaz Bakir Marker, and the Ambassador for the State of Palestine, Dr. Anwar Al-Agha.
Diplomats, prominent personalities on international relations were among those present for the event. Former Sri Lankan permanent mission to the UN, Dayan Jayatilaka, delivered the keynote address.
If the Prime Minister of Great Britain, Mr. David Cameron, cared about oppressed people, if he cared about political prisoners, if he cared about the disappeared, if he cared about settlements, if he cared about the occupation of lands, if he cared about the dispossessed, then let him visit the West Bank and Gaza. Let him go to Gaza. Let him go to Ramallah. Let him talk to the women. Let him talk to the widows. I can understand if some world leader was consistent in the struggle against discrimination, in the struggle against oppression, in solidarity with victims, were to lecture Sri Lanka on how to behave.
The debate on the second reading of the 2014 budget took place in Parliament on the 6th day today. Let's take a look at some of the views expressed here.
The main aim of our foreign policy is to protect the ground realities in this country and the country's reputation. I state with honesty that we as Sri Lankans, devoid of party differences, can be proud about the Commonwealth Summit that was held 10 days ago. Mr. Deputy Speaker, it was stated in the House that 13 islands located in Kalpitiya were sold to foreigners. I am stating clearly that if the gentleman in question can present a document stating that at least one island was sold or handed over, then I would resign from the House.
Tamil National Alliance Parliamentary Group leader Sampath then also shared his views in Parliament today.
LLRC wants the government to come up with its own proposal in regard to the proposed political solution to enable a constructive dialogue. The bilateral talks took place between us and the government from January 2011. At the third round in March 2011, we placed our proposal for a political solution within a united, undivided Sri Lanka in writing before the government delegation. They committed to come up with their own proposals. Up to date, they have not come up with their proposals. They did not attend the talks fixed for 17th, 18th and 19th of January 2012. And they were responsible for the talks being abrogated. They have appointed a Parliamentary Select Committee. Important alliance partners in the Parliamentary Select Committee. We do not have trust in that Parliamentary Select Committee. We think that the Parliamentary Select Committee have been appointed at the instance of important alliance partners to scuttle the prospect of a political solution.
On Business News Tonight, Professor Sumanasiri Liyanage says that the 2014 budget has not outlined a program to ensure a solid economic growth over the next few years. He noted that the government has only presented new liberal economic policies in a more people-friendly way through the budget.
A conference on the 2014 budget was held in Colombo today. The conference was organised by the Ceylon Workers Federation and the Government Trade Union Workers Federation. How much is allocated for the CTB in the budget? This budget has allocated 1.5 billion rupees for the CTB and 26 billion rupees to Mihin Lanka and Sri Lankan Airlines. This shows who the government is focused on. It also shows the government's tax policies. This budget is unfair to ordinary citizens and is favourable for the high-income earners. This is the government's economic strategy. This budget is an attempt to secure one's voter base without thinking about the future.
පදනමත් රැකගනිමින් ඉදිරියට ගෙන යාමට ඉදිරිපත් කළ අයවැය.